All right, Chanel, thank you. 6:05 today, one of the 7 Baltimore police officers charged in a racketeering conspiracy is due in court.
Sergeant Wayne Jenkins will be arraigned this morning in federal court. It comes after that federal grand jury indicted Jenkins and officers Daniel Hersel and Marcus Taylor on another 13 robberies. They're now accused of stealing more than $280,000 in cash, property, and drugs from civilians over a period of 5 years, and that is on top of the robbery, extortion, and overtime fraud charges that these 7 city police officers already face. Their trials are all set to begin in January.
Federal grand jury indicts Baltimore police officers on additional robbery charges. Baltimore, a federal grand jury returned a superseding indictment charging 3 previously indicted Baltimore City police officers with additional robberies, officials said Thursday. The superseding indictment charges the defendants with racketeering conspiracy, racketeering, robbery, extortion and possession of a firearm in furtherance of a crime of violence. The superseding indictment was unsealed Thursday and charges the following defendants. Indictments outline new charges against officers, new defendants. Indicted police officer among several arrested in drug ring. Judge refuses to release indicted Baltimore police officers. 7 Baltimore police officers indicted on federal racketeering charges. Sergeant Wayne Earl Jenkins, 37, of Middle River. Detective Daniel Thomas Herslow, 48, of Joppa. Detective Marcus Roosevelt Taylor, 30, of Glen Burnie. A federal grand jury also returned a separate indictment charging 2 additional defendants who are not police officers, but were posing as police officers, with robbing 2 Baltimore City residents and with brandishing a firearm during a crime of violence. The indictment alleges that the 2 named defendants committed the robbery with a Baltimore City police officer. The second indictment was unsealed Thursday and charges the following defendants. Thomas Robert Finnegan, 38, of Easton, Pennsylvania. David Kendall Rahim, age 41, of Baltimore. Jenkins, Herslow, and Taylor had previously been ordered detained pending trial. Finnegan and Rahim had initial appearances in court Thursday. The 6-count superseding indictment alleges that Jenkins, Herslow, and Taylor engaged in 13 robberies, extortion and time and attendance fraud. According to the superseding indictment, beginning in 2011, the defendants stole money, property, and narcotics by detaining victims, entering residences, conducting traffic stops and swearing out false search warrant affidavits. For example, as charged in the superseding indictment, in spring 2015, Jenkins allegedly stole at least 20 pounds of high-quality marijuana and at least $20,000 from 2 people conducting a drug sale at Belvedere Towers in Baltimore City. Jenkins is accused of having falsely told the buyer and seller that he was a Drug Enforcement Agency, DEA, agent, to conceal his identity, and that he was seizing the money and drugs and would make a decision about whether to charge them later. Jenkins then drove Taylor and a co-defendant to a wooded area off Northern Parkway and gave them $5,000 each from the stolen money, according to the superseding indictment. After the incident, Jenkins went to a strip club in Baltimore County where he robbed a stripper. Similarly, as charged in the superseding indictment, in summer 2016, Herslow stole money from the car of an arrestee. Herslow drove one of his co-defendants to the parking lot of a local high school, which was near the incident, and gave him a portion of the stolen money, the superseding indictment states. While Herslow and the co-defendant were splitting the stolen money, Jenkins broke into the arrestee's storage unit and stole 2 kilograms of cocaine. The superseding indictment alleges that in June 2016, Jenkins believed that a co-defendant owed him money, so Jenkins gave the co-defendant drugs and a firearm that had been seized in a law enforcement operation and told him to sell them. The co-defendant, along with another co-defendant, sold the firearm to a drug dealer, according to the superseding indictment. The superseding indictment also alleges that the defendants committed systemic time and attendance fraud, including claiming overtime when they were at home and on vacation. According to the superseding indictment, between spring 2011 and October 2016, the defendants allegedly conducted 13 separate robberies, taking over $280,000 in U.S. currency, more than 2 kilograms of cocaine, other narcotics, a 9mm handgun, a $4,000 wristwatch, and other property. The superseding indictment alleges that the defendants obstructed law enforcement by alerting each other about potential investigations of their criminal conduct, and turning off their body cameras to avoid recording encounters with civilians. Robbery indictment. Thomas Robert Finnegan and David Kendall Rahim were indicted on charges of conspiracy, robbery, and possession of a firearm during a crime of violence. BPD's Gun Trace Task Force executed a search warrant June 27, 2014, on a store in the Brooklyn neighborhood of Baltimore City. During the search, one of the police officers asked whether there was any large amounts of money in the store. The store owner indicated that she had $20,000 in cash in her pocketbook that she was intending to use to pay off a tax liability, according to the indictment. At that point, members of GTTF did not make arrests, nor seize anything from the property. Later that day, a member of the GTTF informed Finnegan and Rahim about the money and they agreed to set up a robbery at the home of the store owner, the indictment alleges. Using a law enforcement database, the GTTF detective found the home address of the victims. The defendants surveilled the house, agreed to impersonate the police when conducting the home invasion, and were given tactical gear by the detective. The GTTF detective remained outside in the vehicle so that he could intercept any police officers who responded to the home invasion by telling them he was a BPD officer. Finnegan and Rahim went into the home and robbed the victims at gunpoint of the $20,000, according to the indictment. Rearraignments. 4 Baltimore City Police, who were previously indicted, have the following dates for rearraignments scheduled. July 21, Detective Evodio Calles Hendricks, 32, of Randallstown. July 24, Detective Maurice Kilpatrick Ward, 36, of Middle River. October 12, Detective Mamadou Bondavikenton Gondo, 34, of Owings Mills. November 9, Detective Jemal Lamar Rayam, 36, of Owings Mills. Gondo's rearraignment has been scheduled in the RICO case and a separate drug trafficking conspiracy with non-BPD defendants, officials said.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, you know, at least I can do it, you know, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.